on.
Hi, I'm Frank Gromling. I'm the Ocean Art Gallery owner and director. And our artist interview today is with Cherree Mallette, whose solo art exhibition, How Life Changes Through Art, will open this Saturday night, December 5th. Cherree has successfully exhibited in Soho, Chelsea, Art Basel, Miami, and across Florida in many fine art galleries. Good afternoon, Cherree.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Ocean's Fine Artist Interview Series.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. So let's start with, right away, get right to the heart of it. When did you know that you wanted to be a professional artist?
I loved it too much, and I had so much in me to give. I knew I was going to be a fine artist, and I'm still achieving today. So, how did I know? It was inside of me. I just knew.
And did your family support that?
The mother did. My father didn't. My father was like, "Oy, oy, oy, how she's not going to eat."
He wanted you to be an engineer or something?
A dentist, anything. But my family, with my mothers, with the family, the women in my family, I should say, were in the medical field. They were nurses. It just wasn't for me.
So I understand that. I did not follow my parents either, so I can well appreciate that. I do know that you are a highly educated and trained artist. So you're not just a self-taught person.
Right.
That you have a bachelor's in art from the University of Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
And you also have postgraduate study.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about that, what that meant to you, and maybe, I know your New York City experience, for example.
Yes, I got an award for scholarship. When you're in the fine art in the University of Pittsburgh, you work hard as far as depending on your degree of which way you want to go. I went art history, and then I went studio drawing and paintings, which means you get to actually work within your capability of being a fine artist in a studio. So after that achievement, then you get graded, and then I got a scholarship to go to the Academy of Fine Arts in New York for a semester, which was scary, but then it was, oh my gosh, everybody was saying, oh, congratulations, but I was like, oh dear, New York City.
Right.
Because the competition in New York City is just phenomenal.
And you excelled at that.
Because the exposure I got.
Yes, yeah, that's a very positive experience. Not many people get that opportunity.
Yeah.
You've been mentored by some of the top professional artists in the sense that you've met them, you've worked with them perhaps. Tell us a little of that.
Yes, being in Pittsburgh, Andy Warhol is from Pittsburgh, and I was in an art store buying a pache or an airbrush gun, and I was down just looking in the display counters, and I was like, oh my gosh, the prices of these airbrush, and I heard a whisper, and it said, get the pache, which is the best of airbrush. And I said, I know, but the price. And he said, it's very important to have the right tools as an artist, because, and I turn around and it's Andy Warhol. And I went, Andy? And he goes, yes. And I said, oh my God, I will. So I didn't even look at the price. I'm picking it up and I'm going through the cash register. And he said, listen, come to my studio. And he says, do you know where it is? And I said, I've heard of it, but no, sir, I don't.
Right.
So he actually invited me to his studio.
Right.
And that's when he was working with the primary colors of Marilyn Monroe and the celebrities.
Right.
Silk screening. And I got a little Marilyn Monroe. I got a yellow one because yellow was always my color for growing up because my mother called me Sunshine. So I always say
So
yellow.
that was an influence on you, his
Absolutely,
presence.
absolutely.
And you remembered what he said about the tools.
Absolutely, and it
that's
is
been-
important.
That's been critical.
Yeah, because you can be very talented, and if you don't have the right equipment to work on, you don't get that effect that you really want. And the older you get, the more confident you get with your brush or your paper. So if you don't work with really good paper or really good
Right.
brushes, that one stroke can be the finish point, and then could be the destroying point.
And that's helped you with your career.
Absolutely.
Your exhibit that we have here in Ocean Art Gallery is entirely in oil dry brush medium.
Yes.
One of the most challenging mediums for any artist. Share with us what oil dry brush is, if you can do that in a fairly short time frame, and why you chose it.
I like challenges, and dry brush is a challenge medium. It takes patience. It takes a lot of time to figure out how it really works. And I loved paper. I loved to paint, but I had a problem with canvas. Even though you gesso it and you sand it to get it real smooth, I had a problem with canvas. So paper, I remember in high school, we went to a paper mill place in Pittsburgh, and these big bins where they put all the pulp and everything in, and they actually, there's a mechanism, like a mechanical mechanism
Right, a
that
blade
goes around.
goes
Yes,
around,
yes,
yeah.
and builds up and cuts down the pulp and everything. But the effect, when we went into the showrooms and you got to feel that paper, I just fell in love with it. And I still love it. I just love paper. So I wanted to do something with my brush and paper. I do love watercolors. I still work in watercolors for certain things. But I love the dry brush because you can actually get the effect that you want to get. It takes time, but the build-up, and after it's finished, it's just so exquisite. It's so exquisite.
Case in point, for example.
Absolutely.
And others that we have in this collection. Your Splash Parencies collection, which is to my right, and your black and white figurative, of which this is one and others that we have, evoke emotion from all who viewed them during the installation of this exhibition. Share your thoughts about this emotion, which I know is important to you.
It is. And it's taught to you as a visual artist, what is our job? And our job is to grab the emotion and portray it as a visual concept. The easy way to explain is when you go to a theater and you see a really good movie and it leaves an impact on you. So when you get up after the movie's done, you get up and you walk out and you go, wow, that was a good movie. I never really even thought of it like that. That's our job. That's our job as a fine artist or an artist, is to capture that emotion and make an impact so people think about it after they see it. And if you do that, you've succeeded as an artist.
Well, let me tell you from the comments that people who have come into the gallery during the installation and from others, I, myself, and Bibi, my wife and co-owner, when we saw your work in your studio, I had chills up and down my body. I did when we brought the pieces in and hung them in the gallery. I mean, pure and simple. The emotion is strong, and you have a tremendous ability to evoke that in people. So very, very strong. We don't have a lot of time in these artist interviews. The idea behind them is to give a sense of who the artist is, and we hope that that's being transferred to you and the audience now. So what I would like to say is, or I'd like to find out, is what are your aspirations for the next great achievements in your career? What are you thinking of? What are you working towards?
Well, depending on how the world goes, because I'm really not all right brain, I got left brain in me too, and how my thought processes go, but I would love to do a public art piece. That's my next goal, is to do a public art piece, and that will vary of what city could fund the fundings to have it done.
Right.
And my job is to get the team and make it happen. So.
Well, that's a tremendous, tremendous objective. One of the things I do know you're interested in too is that you have a strong belief in supporting the quality of water in the world, fresh and salt water. I come from a saltwater background personally, and together we're going to be doing something in that regard. Something that few people know is that, and I do, because it's been shared by Cherree, is that she has been personally donating to a water research project at the University of Florida, and I commend you for that. I've been a conservation involved person for a long time, and it's not easy to do, but it's something that's very important, so I commend you for that work.
It really is.
This ends part one of Ocean's Fine Artist interview with Cherree Mallette. Part two will be produced and available shortly. In fact, it looks like the schedule is going to be in the next half hour. That program will be a shorter version, and it will be basically a panoramic look at the current exhibition to give you a brief taste of what is going to be here this upcoming Saturday night in Cherree's show, How Life Changes Through Art. We thank you for joining us. Cherree, we thank you for being here and for being our artist. It's been a real pleasure, and we look forward to many, many future opportunities to share with the public. We hope that you and the audience visit with us again online and learn more about Ocean Art Gallery's fine artists, of whom we have many. Visit us at the gallery this Saturday, December 5th, 5 to 8 p.m. You can find our address and other information at oagart.com. You can come this Saturday night and meet Cherree and enjoy her amazing art. One thing to remember is that we are CDC compliant.
Yes, we are.
And we have
Safety first.
Social distancing and all of the things to protect our artists, our staff, and most importantly, our curators, our clients, our guests. So we look forward to seeing you soon and checking us out again online and at the gallery.